Guys, Tom's house was not broken into. However, Tom's house in the valley, he owes a lot of money and it needs to be sold. Let's get into the 600K of it all, the mediation, the court stuff, all of that. We're also going to touch base on Billy Lee and his new girlfriend. And then we're also going to kind of break down potentially the numbers of the house, how much Ariana is entitled to, all that good stuff. So if you guys enjoy Vanderpump Tea, Housewives talk, just what your fave Bravo Lebs are up to, I got you. Subscribe. I make content pretty much on a daily basis here. So do all that good YouTube stuff and let's get into it. Okay, so we've all heard about him, the 600K that he is offering to Ariana, but of course she is like, no freaking way, be so freaking for real. That's not enough. She wants to sell the house, whereas he wants to keep the house, which is why well over a year after Scandoval, they're still in this mess with the house. Um, at this point, it's come out recently that if they do not work it out in mediation, they will be dragged to court in February of 2026. Guys, that is almost 2 years from now. The courts are so backed up. So my understanding is at some point, once Scandoval happened, she stopped paying her half because he kept, complaining, not just about the pens and the batteries and the solar panel, I think he said, and all the other work that he's done on the house. But I understand why she stopped paying because she doesn't trust him with the finances. He might have been like, oh, yeah, we pay this much. And then she was paying him. It, and then she's like, well, I don't know for sure if that's how much I'm supposed to pay you. Show me the receipts. And for the longest time, he wouldn't provide her with proper documentation of what they owe for whatever bills. So I do think there is negligence on her part. I do think she wasn't financially savvy. So, she is a woman in her 30s. I do think she should have taken matters into her own hands. I'm not going to blame her for getting cheating into, but some of the finances around the house. We had that scene with Ariana and Vanderpump. I believe it was earlier on in season 10. I think they were at like attending to Vanderpump's horses, and she was talking about the I think it was the new loan that he had taken out for Shorts and Sandy's, and her name was also tied to it. And she was saying something weird like, "Oh, but it's like my half here, or and then his half there." And you guys let me know, further more in the comments about that conversation. But basically, Vanderpump looked at her and, us, the audience watching, we probably also looked at her like, girl, that's not how it works. If your name is on a loan, you are responsible for that, the entirety of it. It doesn't matter if the other person pays their portion or not. Anyways, that was like a quick conversation I'm like kind of remembering. So I do think she should have, definitely taken some ownership with the finances and understand where things are coming and going, all that stuff. But with that said, good for her for, taking legal steps now, doing things properly, and hopefully she has a better understanding of the finances and where things are with the house. Now he did offer her 600K, and I could be wrong, so let me know, but my understanding is, well, actually, I don't know this part for sure. This is the part where it gets a little confusing. Is he offering her the 600K and her name would still be on the mortgage, or he wants to refinance the mortgage, which would mean he would be paying double? And my understanding from seeing it all is he's already having a hard time paying for the house now with the current 2019 interest rate when they bought the house for 2.1 million. So if they refinance it, he's going to take on more of a financial burden. Guys, I'm not in the real estate world. I don't deal with mortgages, any of that. There's a breakdown that I'm going to get into later on. The math with Tom makes no sense to me because he is saying he's going to pay her 600K, but then we saw that whole scene where he's like, "Oh, I'm like, you know, e-transferring 500 here." Well, I guess you guys in the States don't have e-transfer. I think it's like Cash App and different I don't know, apps that you guys have for sending money. Since your banking system, it's not like unified. It's I don't know. It works different in the States, is my understanding. But he's like cash apping 500 here, 1,000 there. So how are you going to pay this girl 600K if you are already struggling with your monthly expenses with the way things are now? I don't understand that. And then let's get into, well, before we go into some other stuff, this is what he said. I will give you 600K cash based on the math. This is a buyout that is equivalent to us selling the property for 3.1 million. According to Zillow and Redfin, it's way above value, market value. With refinancing the house, pulling her name. Okay, so he's going to pull her name off the loan. This goes from being 10K a month to paying 20K a month. I don't know where he's getting all this money. I feel like he has a high burn rate, like we see with a lot of our favorite reality stars. And then on top of that, he also owes his mom 250K for shorts and sandies. He got the 250K of his mom's retirement money, is my understanding, so that he can invest in shorts and sandies. And when I was reading this article, he just said his mom is okay with him not what did he say? Let me look into it. So the interviewer asked him, or no, it was a Pumped Up Edition reunion episode, and he asked Sandoval, have you been able to pay back your mom back her retirement fund yet? And Sandoval's like, no. And then explained she's okay with it though. That is very weird. And this article, guys, it's from last year. So I don't know if he has been able to pay his mom, or if he's doing, I don't know, monthly amounts that he's paying her back. So he has the house, the amount that he pays his mom. And then on top of that, he also took out a loan for against the house, which, he also owes that to Ariana if they were both to sell the house. So there's a lot. Guys, I really think this man, while he was cheating on Ariana, moving the way he was moving for about 6, 7 months, I really think this man thought, you know what? I'm going to pay off Ariana and then I'm going to move in Rachel. We're going to have kids. We're going to have a family. We're going to have pool parties because it's a pretty nice big house. And he was going to have his cake. He was going to eat it. He was going to have a new family life. This was going to be Tom driving off into the sunset. Let's be so effing for real here. That I think this is really what he thought. But then when, Scandoval happened, things went the way they went. And Rachel, good for Rachel. She blocked him. She prioritized her well-being over this man. She stopped listening to this man. I do think to an extent he did groom her a bit, not like in like the weird way we're seeing with a lot of like the weird celebrity news that's coming up. But there is that power imbalance. He is at least 10 years older than her. And the power imbalance where he is main cast on this show. He's been on it for a very long time. She kind of lost some friends when she broke up with James. But then the girls rallied, with her. But after Scandoval, she lost everyone. So who else did she have but Tom? Anyways, what I really wanted to say is the price of cheating, guys. It is pricey. So if you are going to move in a certain way, you better be able to deal with the repercussions. Anyways, let's take a look at some numbers for the house. This is like something interesting that I came across. Obviously, you and I talking, chatting, us being, having speculative conversations, we don't have their bank statements info to go off of actual numbers. But I came across this. Let's take a look at it. Okay, so I don't know who this is. Someone on Instagram posted the math on Byway Hello Drama's post. So let's take a look at it. This person is like, okay, I did some digging. They bought the house for 2.1 million in February of 2019. It's a big house, over 400, not 400, over 4,000 square feet. Okay, great. They got a mortgage for 1.5. Therefore, they each put down about 275,000. Okay, so together they put down about half a million on the house. So their mortgage is about 1.5. Cool, makes sense. Redfin now values the house for about 3.3. And then assuming they maybe paid down 50K in principal against that 1.5 in the mortgage, their balance on the mortgage now might be about 1.4. So essentially, that's what they owe. So if the house sells for 3.3, subtract the mortgage amount that is owed, which is 1.4, they would they would get 1.8, or each of them would get about 900K after closing cost. All right. So on top of that, there is a 200K loan that he took out against the house for his business. So if we take the 900K plus, which would be their individual amounts from the sale of the house, plus the 200,000 that Ariana is owed. I don't know if this person's math is correct here, but maybe, I don't know. She apparently is owed 1.1. So heck no to the 600K that he apparently wants to owe Ariana. Look, guys, if he does sell the house, she gets her chunk from the sale of the house. He gets his chunk from the sale of the house. But after that, I don't think in this climate he would be able to buy another house. So all that he had going on with Ariana, I really think he just wants to be in a house. The man is 40. He's over 40 now. He wants to, have a house, have pool parties, all that stuff. Or else it's going to be him in an apartment like Schwartz. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think, Schwartz and Katie, they have a lot of respect. They came to a mutual understanding, like the marriage is not working, them being in a relationship is not working. It's better they sell the house, they move on in their merry way. If they both individually have to move into a smaller house or an apartment, so be it. It is what it is. But in the case of Tom, I think he just cannot come to terms with where his life is, even though this is the mess he created. So he is fighting Ariana tooth and nail and trying to blame her and shift blame. Like, don't look at me, look at her over there. Okay, to end things off in this whole Tom debacle, this man, he just gets himself more and more in trouble. I don't know what's going on with him and Billy Lee, but apparently they're not best of buds anymore. And his new girlfriend, Victoria, who dated, oh God, what's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio at some point, and then she aged out when she turned 25. Guys, you know how it works with Leo. Apparently, the new girlfriend is getting in the way of the relationship between Tom and Billy, and Victoria acted very friendly with Billy Lee, but then when she would hear about Tom and Billy Lee hanging out together, she would basically accuse him of potentially sleeping with Billy Lee, which is like so out of left field. Now, when I was watching this like visual podcast that Billy Lee has, she has Joe there for some reason. What is Joe doing there? Joe has, what's her face? Joe has gotten chummy chummy with Rachel, but I guess they were always chummy chummy because I know, they're doing a podcast together, and now Joe is somehow on Billie Lee's podcast. So we're just seeing Joe everywhere. Now I'll end it off here. Victoria, his new girlfriend, which by the way, girl, we know you're just like chasing some clout. No one in America wants to publicly be with Tom Sandoval. It's weird. But anyways, I guess after the Billie Lee podcast, she came out saying, I guess Billie Lee accused Victoria of a whole bunch of things. So Victoria is like coming out and standing up for herself. So she said, "Let me make something very clear. I have never, would never touch belongings that aren't mine, nor have I suggested to do so. I have nothing but respect for Ariana. It's not my place to get involved." That part I think she's been very like clear about. Girls, shoot your shot at staying relevant with your lies and made up stories, but the truth will come out soon enough. Okay, girl, here we go with your 15 minutes of fame. I mean, I guess she's already a successful model. So, she's doing well on her own. But like, did we really know her in the mainstream media like we know her now, especially with her being with Tom? All the Bravo fans now know her, and like the Bravo fans, there's a lot of us. Guys, I hope they figure out all this stuff with the house. Cheating is expensive. So just keep that in mind if you're moving in a way that is unsavory. I hope you guys enjoy this content on the house and stuff. If you guys have more information on the matters of the house, or if you work in real estate and, have any insight to share, definitely, let us know in the comments. And yeah, more good content to come, all things Bravo loves, and I will catch you guys later.